So we finally got to go out and see the movie It Lives Inside, which we had booked tickets to 2 different times, but because of a sickness in the family, we could not get to it. But we finally did, and we should have canceled this one too. This was insanely generic and mediocre. It deals with a young teenage high school girl who is Indian, and she has a friend who is having some troubles in school, and our main girl is having some troubles at home with her mom because her mom is kind of upset with her because she seems to be becoming Americanized too much for her mother's liking.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want her to lose her culture. The problem that her friend is dealing with, on the other hand, is much more serious because she's dealing with a demon. And of course, things go wrong, and they gotta take care of this demon. Now, the thing that I was kind of surprised about with this movie is like how small this film feels for being released into theaters. I love that this film has a different cultural perspective, and that the main character is not white, and not because it's woke, because it's interesting, because we always see Christian demons and Christian mythology and all that shit, and it's cool to see different looking people talking about different things than we're used to, because it's way more interesting because I've seen all that other shit a million times. But I just wish that they would have got a better movie to explore that in, because this is just mediocre, generic. Like, it's okay.
It's fine.
It's like something.
It's an okay film.
It's like something that drops on Netflix, and you watch it, and you're like, that exists, right?
Yeah.
So the fact this got a theater release, this is definitely a like entry level film for teenagers.
Yes, absolutely.
But I find it weird because this film is so small scale with its characters. We have such little character interaction. There's so few characters.
It's very confined.
Very confined, but not in an isolating kind of way. In a boring way.
Just in like it's small.
And it's like, we got our main girl. We got her teacher, played by someone from The Walking Dead. We got her mom. We got the friend who's dealing with the issues before. And you've got the love interest guy.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple background characters like a dad and whatever.
Yeah.
But like probably 90% of the film is her. And then every other character I mentioned is in probably 10% of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's
mostly just her in the film.
There's nothing really interesting going on with her through her struggles, because I don't really know what the film is trying to say, even though I think it's trying to say something about like loneliness and seclusion
and repression a little bit as well.
But it does not explore those themes well at all.
No, it doesn't like deeply explore any of them. It's like really surface level. I thought the film was okay. I do think that the cultural aspect is the most interesting part. The look of the monster was alright as well.
Which
Spoilers,
is like
I guess.
2 seconds of the movie.
But there is a monster in this, and it's not a lot, but I liked what I saw of it when it was shown.
It's okay.
But aside from that, it's kind of a forgettable film.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be remembering it. I think I'll be like, oh yeah, that one, like when we talk about it in the future. So.
You know it's bad when the creepiest thing in the film was not in the film. it was a guy who came into our theater, sat down in front of us, then got up about a minute later, kind of like went to the front, hung out there like by the stairs for a little while, then disappeared. Then like 30 minutes later into the movie, he just kind of came back and was standing at the front and like looking over the stairs and staring at us for like,
it was creepy,
30 seconds.
It was really creepy.
And he kind of kept doing it. He kind of kept poking his head back up and then like kind of looking and then looking back up at us. And I was like, what the dude? And I almost said something, but he left right then. And then I went and I checked like the hallway because I thought he was going to try to come back or he was just hanging out over there. I don't know what it was. But I was definitely on guard a bit.
I was too.
I checked.
It was uncomfortable.
I checked really the entryway because we were literally the only people in the theater.
Yeah.
So I checked the entryway a couple times and I was actually scouting the exits, being like, okay, if this guy gets weird, I'm gonna have to get Kaylee out of here. I'm gonna have to hurt somebody. So that was the only thing that had my mind on edge. Everything else in this film is just uber generic.
Yeah.
And all the scare setups, all that stuff is seen and done to death a million times, and it's not done all that well. The film looks good. The acting is all good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's a competent film in those aspects. But as far as, like, the script, which I think ChatGPT wrote this movie, this is what we're going to get if, like, AI takes over. These are the kinds of scripts you'll get. Because this is just, generic. Like, an amalgamation of 100 other scripts like it.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the things that are in all of these movies.
Right.
Let's just put them, the greatest hits all together in one film. And it's like,
that's
not like what makes a film good.
No.
Right? It's about originality. It's about, subverting expectations. It's about something that a computer program can't create. That's why the AI thing is not going to work, because originality comes from a human, a sentient being. But anyway, maybe one day AI will, transcend its limitations. But until then, you can keep AI out of writing movies, because this feels like one. And if this is any prediction of the future of movies, I'm not going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it sucks too, because this is the kind of film you want to work.
Sure.
Because there is this like cultural aspect to it that I'm like, oh, I want this to be a win for them.
Yeah.
It's just not.
It's
just not. And I feel the same way the majority of times when I watch movies that have like all black casts or something in the horror genre. I feel like they never get outside of very few examples. I feel like they always get these really poor films, and I'm like, God, I want you guys to get a win. Like, I want good movies with other cultures and other people in front of the camera. But for some reason, so many of them are terrible. And I think, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's just like production or whatever. Like, they just can't get the money or something because people are racist. They're like, nah, we're not giving you any money. Yeah. Not unless you're white. And so they just try to make it work. And they're like, we can't. We need money. I don't know what it is. This movie had money. So, and it looked good. It just has a bad script.
Yeah.
It really does. This movie's so boring. I was on my phone because there was no one else in the theater. I was looking at my phone here and there because I was just like, fuck.
It wasn't very engaging.
So generic. So that's it. All right. Enough of that. Don't go see it.
Bye. Bye.